ourselves and our own personal journey, and then kind of connect that to Providence and how we got connected to Fostering Hope and the Future in Hope Conference, and then we'll hopefully end with a good time. So we met teaching middle school science in the Bronx, and it felt kind of like a calling towards those inner city kids that have been through a lot of hard things and come from a hard place in many ways. And it really kind of captured our hearts going into that. So we met, hit it off right away, spent all kind of time together. We'd even talked about adoption as probably being something we did at some point. Due to some health complications, we weren't sure we'd be able to have kids of our own one day. So we were having a pretty heavy conversation for two people this day, time for two. But, so we got married. We ended up getting pregnant really fast, and 13 months later, our second child was born. So we kind of forgot about that whole foster care adoption thing while we were just treading water and trying to keep afloat with toddlers and babies. We moved down to Austin after Googling family-friendly cities. Affordable was a part of that at the time.
14 years ago.
So we came down here 14 years ago with our little baby and 1-year-old. We kind of started planting some roots here in Austin. We got involved with our now church, Providence Church, also 14 years ago. So we've been with them a whole long time too. But as a part of that now, when our kids were 4 and 5 we decided, well, no, we didn't decide first. First we had we were leading a small group with our church. And into this church walks a lady that we didn't really know, but started coming to our church with her 5-year-old foster daughter. And we immediately just fell in love with both of them, really, but this girl was just so happy and spunky and amazing in so many kind of ways, and just connected with our kids who were about the same age at the time.
And I'll jump in with saying, I was the holdup on the fostering and adoption. I would not provide for our family. And in walks into our house, God is like, no, you'll be doing this. And walks a little girl named Kitty. I was like, okay.
So part of that, we want to get more involved with faith. So we went through the whole process that so many of y'all know about finding an agency and going through all the things we need to have all the certifications and licenses needed to have her overnight to be able to spend a weekend with us. So camping, do fun stuff. We did that. We were heavily involved. We even attempted to adopt her at one point. It ended up not working out, but it was just so profound and shaping our whole journey and our whole family. Our kids were on board at this point too. So we said goodbye as she went off to another state to a kinship placement, but we were fully licensed at that point. And so a few weeks later, we said yes to who is our now daughter, who we adopted out of the foster care system 9 years ago. So it's been quite a while. She came to us when she was 5, 6. What's the birthday?
You're good.
For what? It's been a long time now. And we just celebrated 9 years since the adoption day. So that's been really cool. And now we have 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old driving and all the normal high school things. So that's a lot of fun. But throughout this whole process, our church has been so instrumental in the whole process. Even from us partnering with this other lady from our church from the very beginning, other people from our small group then got what they need to do to get the babysitter training and help us out. Those who didn't want to go through all of that brought meals when we needed the meals. They were just so instrumental. We really could not have had such a positive experience without our church.
And to this day.
And to this day, way past the adoption and the foster care, they still just support and love us and love her so well. And so we love that Fostering Hope has this mission of equipping churches to do this well. Because we definitely benefited and need our church to do this well with us. So another quirky kind of cool thing about Janice is she really geeks out about any books on parenting or child development. This came before I had any real connection to what she was doing professionally. It was just a strong interest. So she hands me this book called The Connected Child by Karen Purvis early on in this whole process. And like many of you, I was pretty blown away by that. Just how accessible and useful and amazing that whole book was. And so she also then got us connected to the Future Hope Conference, and we went, and Karen Purvis is there, blowing us out of the water even more. So we were pretty hooked.
We don't know what year it was. We don't know how long we've been going to a Future in a Hope, but
5,
Karen
6,
Purvis.
9, I don't know.
Karen Purvis here. That's what we call it.
If you remember the Bob here, you just remember.
So we really got connected early on, but the real reason Providence made the connection to Fostering Hope is this lady right here. She's really done a lot of the work, a lot of the planting her feet down in front of our staff and being like, this needs to happen, and this is what we're going to do. So she's really made that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely persistent and particularly no, we won't be doing that as an answer. So it's just like, hey, but I also have the lens that I was on staff with our church, so this is like shifting to me. Because not only was I on staff here at Fostering for Boston, I was on staff with Providence. So I get this lens of knowing the way our mission and DNA are really intertwined with one another. Providence, Josh came to a membership meeting and I was like, well, you're gonna see how things are done. And it's a little bit of the Wild West because it's what our members are interested in and where our members have roots. That tends to be where our partnerships land. And so we were engaging in fostering the Boston relationships, engaging in the foster care system, and it just aligns with our church's DNA of being relational, working with the whole broader church within Austin, that sense of community, not having that posture of we're the solution. It requires all of us, so that collaborative effort that is deeply ingrained within Fostering for Austin's y'all's DNA. It's just we play with everybody in the sandbox, but wants to show up. To zoom out even further from our story, all our partnerships have been impacted by our trauma-informed care training from Fostering for Boston. I was reflecting with a friend after the membership. We have a partnership in Guatemala with a church plant and an orphanage. And my first time there was a new kiddo coming into the orphanage, and I just made a comment. I was like, hold on, what's going on here? And we just had a conversation around their trauma-informed care, how they bring a kiddo in. And they changed it. They changed it to have that more trauma-informed lens. And so the work here extends out through other ministries in churches, and it's incredible to see. We've been in this for a long time. There's many of you who've been in this space for a long time, so you get this perspective, this long gospel view of how God is using His people and how it's all working together in the most beautiful way. This is very hard. And even I was on staff, but now I'm working with families just in a different way. I'm a family therapist working with foster families and stuff. Are we answering all the questions that you kind of want to answer here?
Yeah. I love the trauma-informed aspect of it. We've written it into our policies and procedures for our children's ministries.
Oh yeah, they don't even know we're trauma-informed. They don't know.
I use those tactics. I was even mentioning to my church and sharing about a lot of this stuff too. I use the same stuff that I learned with my coworkers.
Absolutely.
And with everybody. Now I just see it as a better way to go through life in a kind of fallen and broken world. And so but I learned a lot of that because of the groundwork that is being laid right here.
Yeah. So Providence is so grateful for Fostering for Boston and
Yes.
partnerships and just what it has meant for.
Thank you guys so much.